Our next speaker is Ruth Harenchar. Ruth is a senior C-level IT executive with expertise in all areas of information technology. Ruth has a passion for excellence, integrity, and building a better world through networking. In the words of a partner of Ruth's, said, Ruth transforms something strong into something superb. She does this while nurturing the human spirit of everyone involved. Currently, Ruth is the CIO at the American Jewish Committee and former executive at Hobart West Group, Bowning Company, and Ernst Young and PBS. Ruth's expertise in green technology and humanitarian passion was acknowledged when she presented at the UN co-sponsored conference in 2008 on sustainability. Graduate of Northwestern University, Chief Networking Officer for Empowering Today's Professionals, good friend. The title of Ruth's speech is Lifetime Guarantee. Ruth,
I've been listening to my friends and colleagues, and I thought about the fact that when you get this number of people together, first of all, none of us are shy that are up here. And yet each of us were speaking about basically the same thing, but like a gem. You know, there were different facets, and each of us are picking a different facet of basically the same thing to talk about, and each of those facets are interesting in and of themselves, but it still weaves together. And I chose lifetime guarantee as the way to talk about it because what I want to talk about is a particular form of networking, and that is volunteering at nonprofit organizations. You've heard about volunteering in various and sundry ways. Volunteering at Toastmasters, volunteering at other networking groups, okay? Volunteering with ETP, volunteering to raise money for multiple sclerosis research and finding the cure, okay? They've each touched on it in a different way. I want to really emphasize that part of it. And I'm here to tell you that having looked at this and lived this in a number of different areas, I will absolutely, positively guarantee that if you volunteer, you will feel better and you will get something out of it, and it will improve your life. And one way or another, if you're in transition, it's going to help you, and I'll tell you multiple ways it's going to help you, whether it's direct or indirect. If you're at the start of a career, it can help you too. I absolutely guarantee it. Absolutely, positively, it will. No one who has ever started out and actually followed through and actually volunteered. How many of you know people who volunteered? You do it yourself? Okay. Are any of them unhappy because they did it? No. If you're in transition, what it does, if you have a skill that you want to keep sharp, okay, you volunteer. They're always shorthanded. So you go and you volunteer and you do what you do best. And that means when you are interviewing. When was the last time you did something? It's not 6 months ago before you got laid off. You did it last week because you volunteered someplace and you did it. Or how about getting reskilled? You don't particularly feel like going and signing up and getting another degree at Rutgers or Cornell or wherever. Volunteer. They don't have anybody who knows how to do whatever. Or they don't have enough people who know how to do whatever. You get to learn it. And you've been doing it at a particular place. So when you go in for that interview, well, you know, when did you do it? Well, I've been doing it for X. The fact that you may not have collected a paycheck for it doesn't matter. You did it. You have done it. You are doing it. It gets you out of the house. Oh, come on. Let's be honest. Alex will be honest. I'll tell you. I was a corporate executive. I parked in the building. I had a parking spot in the bay. I had the key to the executive washroom. I was there, and then I wasn't anything at all. Okay? You got to get out of the house. It helps establish a routine, and it helps put you back on top because you have volunteered. It is absolutely, positively guaranteed. Pick something that you like. If for some reason maybe the first place you picked somehow doesn't quite work out, pick another one. Usually people have very good instincts if they really do it. I will also tell you, you have tons of choices. Tons of choices. When I first began the task of actually getting the legal nonprofit status for ETP, I learned in Morris County, New Jersey, I'm not sure we're actually in Morris County, but I live in Morris County, so I checked it. There are, in Morris County, New Jersey, more than 8,000 legally recognized by the IRS nonprofit organizations. Believe me, you cannot possibly have a hard time finding some place to not volunteer your time. 8,000 in one county in New Jersey. Okay? So, when you go in for that interview, the win, it's a win, 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 win. Win, 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 win. You volunteered, which means you've done a little something at one point in time to make this world a better place to live. But you've either maintained the sharpness of a skill that you had, you learned a new skill, you interacted with people, you met new people, you learned about a new cause. When you go in and you do that interview, you are the better candidate, the stronger candidate. You have reinforced your self-confidence that flew out the window. Can you imagine what Alex was just saying? He survived in communist Romania, then manages to emigrate to Israel, then comes to the United States, has the audacity to walk into the dean's office in Cornell and say, let me into your school, and it's the top school, and he has all these executive positions, and yet the one time that he wasn't the one on top and he's in transition, he couldn't even do an elevator speech at St. Paul's. Think about it. What happens to you when you're the one that goes into transition? It's the pits. Okay? You've taken the hardest punch most of us are going to face. You got to pick yourself up, and one of the best ways to do it is to pick yourself up by volunteering someplace else, to help some other people do it. And it happens even at the start of the career. What did Rod and some of us do? Alex had his son at the breakfast club meeting. Okay, I dragged my kids, they did this, they did that. My son graduated in May. Architecture. Have any of you thought about just where the hell is a young architect going to get a job when it is the worst commercial and residential housing market since the Great Depression? He is the only member of his graduating class that has a job as an architect. The only one in his graduating class who has a job as an architect. Because of networking, because of skills that he picked up and the volunteer things that he was willing to do that I suggested. It helped that Mom ended up having a networking contact with the head of the firm, but that wasn't how he got the job. Read Rod's book, practiced in front of the mirror. All those things count. Start of the career, middle career, after being in transition. Sometimes it's real direct, the benefit. Sometimes it's not real direct at all. It's not a direct cause and effect always. And yet I know, for instance, when I did go and interview for my first top C-level job, reporting to the CEO of a publicly traded Fortune 1000 company, they said, I got it because I was different. And I know the reason I was different was that I had spent 20 years on the board of Easter Seals, New Jersey. I feel I've gotten the equivalent of 5 Harvard MBAs in having done that. And it showed when I went in and interviewed. And I got the job. 20 years, but it made a difference. There were other times when it came sooner than that. But I suggest to you, think about it. And if you're not ready to change your life, if you're not ready to transform your life, that's fine. That's your choice. If all you want is to somehow figure out how do you get another one of those jobs exactly like what you had, which is probably never going to happen anyway, that's okay. Everybody has to make their own choices. But if you're ready to pick yourself up,
That's the first time I've seen that.
dust yourself off, volunteer.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That was great. Thank you, Ruth.